Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we're doing 1997's Scream 2. Before we get started, and before we get into it all, if you would like to follow me or Corey on Twitter, you could follow me at Junior D's. You could follow Corey at Idle Poncho. Let's get into this. Scream 2, 1997 stars Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott, Courteney Cox as Gail Weathers, David Arquette as Dewey, Jerry O'Connell as Derek, and Jamie Kennedy as Randy.
I have big problems with the last two guys that you just mentioned. They rat fucked Randy. They just totally rat fucked his entire character.
They really did. So I got a couple of things for these guys, and especially Jerry O'Connell, because when the movie first came out, and again, I saw this in theaters, huge Scream fan when Scream first came out, saw this movie, and I still loved this movie in theaters. Like when it came out, I was like, dope. I was in college, these kids were in college, like, this should have been called like the Dave Matthews Murders. But I love this movie, and I found more than a few things that I really disliked about it this time around.
Yeah.
So let's
Speaking
jump
of
right.
the Dave Matthews Murders, let's just get it right into the number one issue with this whole movie, which was the dialogue.
What?
Yes.
Every fucking movie or TV show in this time period all had that Dawson's Creek 5-syllable bullshit.
Yeah.
Come on. You were in college at this time. I was in high school.
Yeah.
My friends and I didn't talk like this. We said, butt, pussy, fart.
What the fuck? Jesus.
I admit, we weren't exactly honor society kids.
Yeah.
But at the same time, come on.
Yeah, I don't think you can really formulate a movie around fart, pussy, shit, or whatever the hell you said.
Oh, sure you can.
But with that being said, they could have done a better job with the dialogue.
It's really weird, isn't it? To think this fuss is all because of you.
I'll just say right off the bat from the opening of this movie, you have Omar Epps and Jada Pinkett making little cameos in this, right? And they get murdered in the movie theater. This movie would have been much better if those two were just in it the whole time.
Yes. I appreciate Wes Craven throwing in them having the conversation about black people in movies, which is still a very relevant topic right now. An all-black cast, all-black director. That whole situation is still a very big conversation being had right now, which is awesome. But also the fact that in horror movies, black people get killed immediately.
Yes.
And literally, they are the first people killed. It doesn't even take a fucking 5-minute break.
But
Omar Epps teaches everyone here an extraordinarily valuable lesson. Mind your business when you're in the public shitters.
Thank you. I agree with you.
Let me set the table for this, because I told you when we were talking on the phone after we watched it, this is such a great opening.
Oh, it's brilliant, yes.
To this movie. Just the whole thing until they go to the college is awesome. So the movie opens with Phil and Maureen, Omar Epps and Jada Pinkett. They go to the movie premiere of Stab, based on the book by Gail Weathers about the Woodsboro murders. They basically just reshot Scream for this.
Like, they know. How do you know the conversations that were had? Because they're very accurate to what happened in Scream.
They're very accurate to the letter.
Moms leave.
Yeah, your mom left town. She's not buried in a cemetery somewhere.
Like, did Stu keep a fucking diary of dialogue that Gail found and put in her book? That's insane.
Apparently. So there's absolute chaos. And this is what I found funny. It adds to part of because, with the Scream movies, you have a little bit of humor in it. Sure. And the funniest part about this, I don't know how many movie premieres you've been to.
2 + 2 is 4. -1, that's 3. Quick maths.
I've been to like the opening of, these movies. I have never seen a crowd wild out like that ever. And
every fucking kid in that college dropped out of college and rioted at the Capitol. That's what it looked like. A bunch of shitheads getting ready to riot.
Straight facts. At least these guys were wearing masks. So they're in the theater. They're going fucking crazy. Everybody's like, this is what I didn't like about the random dialogue in this, because they're just running around going, stab, stab.
Stab you, man.
Omar goes to the bathroom and he hears somebody who, I don't know, could be masturbating in the next stall. I don't know, but the noise that's coming from the next stall is amazing. I wanted to hear Wes Craven go, can you just kind of like you're masturbating and maybe playing with Micro Machines?
The Micro Machines Power Train City comes with a 5-car train. Other trains sold separately, batteries not included. Your parents put it together.
Going back to what you said, Omar Epps should mind his own damn business. As a grown man, I agree. As a kid in college, I would have been like, the fuck is going on in here?
That's why your ass getting stabbed in the ear.
And Omar Epps does such a good job of getting murdered here. He like twitches and then the blood comes out of his mouth. Like that whole scene is great. The only thing I was like, I don't know if, spoiler alert, I don't know if Mickey or Mrs. Loomis is in the costume in the theater. Neither one of them bitches is stabbing through the stall in a bathroom.
Well, this was the night. That was basically thin ass drywall that was keeping the partition. They didn't care so much about privacy.
After Omar gets killed, the killer takes his jacket and then goes sit in the theater next to Jada. The movie started and people are still going ape shit in the theater.
Yes.
He ends up stabbing Jada. Jada goes on top of the stage. People think she's fucking around or part of the show or whatever. She dies. End scene, cut to college. It cuts to Sidney and Randy in college. She's getting prank phone calls and seeing Count Weary on the TV with the movie coming out and talking about how he got off because he didn't kill her mother and yada yada.
And you get to see too, this is where caller ID was a big thing.
Yes.
This was actually huge for you kids out there, that you were able to identify who was calling you and promptly ignore them. Which was the only reason that was invented.
Yes.
That was the original way you could ghost people.
That's the original way you can go, no, thank you.
Yep. Call a dirty murder, she wrote. Are you out of your fucking mind?
They realize there's a killer on the loose copying the Woodsboro murders. Deputy Dewey, realizing that, the same thing, arrives on campus once again to protect Sidney, and they have a reunion with Gail Weathers and whatever. You want to talk about, you mentioned at the beginning how dirty they did Jamie Kennedy in this and Jerry O'Connell. They did David Arquette dirty in this too. The whole, it was a severed nerve, and now he's walking around listen, the Dewey character was funny anyway. You didn't have to have him limping and slurring around the goddamn scene and falling down, and you didn't need it in this.
Right. And a fully impaired Dewey was no threat.
Yes.
So making him have a disability of any kind, it doesn't present like, oh, now the killer can strike. Dewey's down for the count. What the fuck are you talking about?
And listen, Wes Craven knew he did Dewey dirty in this, because even Jamie Kennedy in this asks David Arquette,
And what's with that limp anyway? Because you were stabbed in the back. Severed nerve.
okay, cool, whatever.
I'm gonna roll the dice here on this one, because David Arquette is an eccentric fellow, to say the least.
Yes.
So I'm gonna roll the dice and say that wasn't in the script.
That was his choice?
That was a character choice. And literally, they're like, I don't know, improv a line, Jamie.
And
that was David's real reaction, like, it's nerve damage. Like, why does everybody keep asking me about this? I read about nerve damage 3 weeks ago in the medical journal.
Sure. If it was his choice, it was a poor choice. The killer attacks Casey, or Cece Cooper, played by Sarah Michelle Gellar in this.
Dude, the cameos in this movie do not stop.
Yep.
It's insane. I'm surprised the fucking cops weren't Mark Furman and OJ.
Hello, Twitter world. This is me, yours truly.
The killer calls Cece, and she's beta, zeta, beta, fuck you. Kills her, throws her off the balcony. And after the police discover the body, the students at the frat party across the road all go to check out the dead body. People are so, in the first Scream, we're so just like, your mother died? Sorry for your shitty luck. Like,
right.
What a whore. And like in this movie, it's like, dead body, let's go point at it and fucking poke it with a stick or whatever the hell.
Our best friend's dead. Let's go look at it. I'll bet you $20 and a keg of natty ice you can't hawk a loogie on Cece's dead body from here. Come on, bro. Bet.
Hurry!
Sidney is also being dragged around this party that she didn't want to go to. Basically, she is being used again by almost everybody.
Yes.
Her roommate is using her to get into this sorority.
Yeah.
She's just insisting, like, you gotta go with me.
Yeah.
Because they won't recognize me. They just call her Pledge. Which, by the way, that whole thing's so fucking stupid. But that's another show. But Rebecca Gayheart and Portia de Rossi as the sorority heads here are so great because they're given this line, like, everybody thinks, sororities are just about blowjobs, and that's not true.
Harmonica style is okay, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sororities were more about anal than anything.
Yeah. Well, maybe in New York. In Ohio, those were some good Christian girls. Those only blowings.
Everybody leaves except for Jerry O'Connell and Neve Campbell here. He's just kind of like, bet you I can hit her body from here with that loogie. Go get your jacket.
It's like, I wonder if she gets her jacket, can I run over there, look at it, and then run back?
Exactly.
Because he's still staying by me. Like, he wants to see a dead body.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So she goes back in. She goes and gets her jacket. And then the phone rings. And I'm sorry. I don't know if this is the Italian me, but could you be any more rude to answer somebody else's phone? Let it ring. They're obviously not going to ask for you because you don't live there.
Thank you.
All you hear about is somebody is dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know Omar and Jada were killed.
Yep.
You know they were killed in, like, the rowdiest theater full of crazy white people ever.
Yes.
The odds were against them to begin with.
Yes.
But you're starting to put it in, like, this is happening again. It's happening again. You hear the phone ring behind you in a house, as you said, that's not yours at all. And you actually pause and stare at the phone like you've never heard a ringing phone before. Why would somebody be calling a house that's full of 20 to 30 women? That's crazy. It has to be for me. Get the fuck out of here.
It's got to be the killer.
Hello, Sidney. Remember me?
Cool. So they do their whole little thing. Jerry O'Connell doesn't see that the door is now shut. He attacks Sidney. They run around the house. Jerry O'Connell tries to get in, goes through the back. Oh my God, goes in. He gets slashed, goes to the hospital. And now it's like, the whodunit started. Is it the boyfriend again? And
we're going to put everybody in the room with Sidney again. We're going to keep everybody close when we interview people. It's important.
Exactly. And this is why when I first saw this in theaters, and, a lot of people were like, oh, it can't be the boyfriend again because you can't do that again. And I said, no, you totally can. You know why it can't be the boyfriend? Because they took Jerry O'Connell's balls out before they started filming this movie. They made him like Randy from the first, like a high school kid that was like in love with this girl, and I don't know, his character had no depth. It was just like, I'll do whatever because Sidney loves it. Like,
his character acts like a fat kid that got really handsome over the summer and now can date the hot chick.
So that's why they hired Jerry O'Connell.
That's why you tune into this show, ladies and gentlemen.
For hot takes just like that.
You damn right.
After all this, they're at the police station. Gail and Dewey notice the names of the victims, match the victims from the Woodsboro murders. The police chief assigns 2 detectives to Sidney.
I got my 2 best detectives guarding her.
These guys, I don't know where they got them. I think it was just like they just gave 2 homeless guys jobs and guns and just said, protect Sidney. Because
they found 2 guys that were on the crew that were also in the Screen Actors Guild. And they're like, your dues are up to date? Cool, put on this shitty vest and blazer that doesn't fit. Look like a fucking zoot suit. And, follow Neve Campbell around for like 20 or 30 minutes. We'll shoot it. No big deal. Later, we'll cut your throat. It'll be a lot of fun.
Hell yes.
These guys seriously looked like they were stalking a college girl.
Oh, yeah.
They did not look like police detectives that were on the case.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're so far away that if she got stabbed, the killer had, you had to be Jesse Owens to catch this fucking guy.
So after that, you get the scene with Dewey and Gail and Randy. They're all outside on campus when the killer calls. Gail and Dewey are running around looking at the StarTAC flip phones that everybody has. Randy gets on the phone with the killer, and this whole scene I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Kennedy does a really good job in this scene, because in the first one, Jamie Kennedy's just like the puppy dog, and I love Sidney and yada yada, and he still has that,
wheel.
But
third wheel exposition.
Yeah, but now, like, the whole thing where he just starts, like, going in on the killer, and he's like, who the fuck do you think? You want to play with the big boys? Like, that whole part is awesome. I loved it.
Yes, right up until they kill him.
What I didn't like, so after, he's on the phone, he gets, I kind of like the murder, because, opens a thing, he gets dragged into the van, slit his throat.
Oh, it's a great murder, yeah.
You know what I didn't like? The fact that, he gets killed as the rap group Third Base comes dancing around the fucking van.
Pop, pop goes the weasel.
There was no need for any of that. Outside of boombox and noise. And you could have done that 1,000 different ways, but they were like, let's be hip and in. And let's have, some asshole white kid dancing to rap music around the van. Like,
why did there have to be any noise at all? Cover his fucking mouth and you slit his throat. Yeah, no noise.
I didn't like that.
Problem solved. But yeah, apparently some producer's fucking jerk off kid had to be in the fucking thing with his fucking boombox.
You're right. It's fact.
They rat fucked Randy in this movie. First off, this guy is the movie king, right?
Yes.
He is the movie man. Yet, he's never heard of Aliens, Terminator 2, The Godfather 2. He just goes into his film class in the opening scene where we get to see Timothy Olyphant and him talking. And he actually is like, there's never been a sequel better than the original. Dude, this is the movie guy. You're telling me he doesn't have Godfather 2 queued up in his fucking brain for everything? And then again, he walks into the phone conversation with the killer. Again, great scene. I love how the killer kind of gets his goat. Like, you're never going to be the leading man.
Fuck you!
He's supposed to be the smart one.
Yeah.
That was the whole point of why he was able to kind of survive the first one, was because he was intelligent. He knew the rules. He knew all this shit. And he survived also because he's a virgin. Suffice it to say, Randy's still a fucking virgin.
Hell yes.
He's supposed to know everything, and you murked him just like he was another fucking fool. And yet Dewey lives?
Yeah, that was the one thing. If you're gonna kill anybody, kill Dewey. He was useless in this movie.
Dude, there's so many other people you could have murked.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everything in this movie went against everything he was in the first one. And that's why I say they rat fucked him. They just completely screwed him over.
Yeah, no, I'll agree with that. This is when the killer starts instant messaging Sidney on the computers.
He hacks her library computer.
Did he have AOL Instant Messenger? Like, you got mail. Fucking,
like six guys were playing the Oregon Trail. And they're like, what the fuck is this message? He's like, no, not you. Trying to get it right. Fucking, it's so dumb.
So he hacks her, and, you know, you get the one kid, like, leaning into frame, like, well, they're all connected, so.
He just says a lot of jargon, too. You're on a flipsy-derv internal data port that flip-flops on the driv drive. You know what I mean? They're all connected.
I was checking the specs on the end line for the rotary girder.
The two super cops come over, and they see the message, and they're like, oh, my God. So one takes her, and is like, here, stay here, you'll be safe. Oh, you mean right next to the stairwell where somebody can sneak up behind me? And somebody does in Cotton Weary, because he's like, yeah, I want to go on Diane Sawyer. Will you come on Diane Sawyer with me?
This whole thing.
Listen, Diane Sawyer don't want to talk to your dumb ass.
I mean, it's Diane fucking Sawyer, Sid, okay?
It's Diane Sawyer. Hello.
Hey, I want you to do Diane Sawyer interview with me. We can both make a lot of money off of this. Hey, Cotton, I'm going through a lot right now. No, you're fucking not. We're doing the interview. Like, Jesus Christ, David from Fear, calm down.
So let me the fucking house.
Your job is to protect her.
How about there's two of you? How about you have the one guy go check the terminals, and then you hang out with her in a corner that, you know, nobody's gonna sneak up behind her and, I don't know, stab her in the fucking back.
At this point, I'd rather have Danny DeVito as my bodyguard.
I started blasting. Bang! Bang! Well, I don't see so good, so I missed. Then they ran away.
Well, then they take him to, you know, because they arrest him, because stuff and things. And they're at the police station again. And again, Sidney's like right there, sitting. He's in the thing like, stabbing people. He's just yelling like murder and stabbing and
Constitution and stabbing.
So until you find me standing over a dead body with a knife in my hand, I think you better treat me with the rights and privileges accorded to every innocent citizen in this country.
But after this, Dewey and Gail go into the lecture room to watch footage because her cameraman left it behind, and because, you know, he was the smart one, like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Like, you know, every normal person should have.
Dude, they made him such a bitch, though.
I get
it, he's comic relief, but...
No, I get that he was comic relief. I actually like that, you know, he was like...
Brothers don't last long in situations like this.
I actually liked his character because, you know what? Like a bunch of other people, I would have been like, yeah, there's fucking people are getting murked around here. I'm with you. I'm getting the fuck out. So he leaves all the footage for her. They're checking this out in the lecture hall. Gail notices footage that her cameraman hadn't taken, and apparently it's from the killer's perspective, showing clips of Cece on the porch and yada yada. Finally, it shows the backs of Dewey and Gail as they're watching the video.
Yes. Well, you forgot about them just deciding to rekindle their relationship and fuck in the middle of a classroom, of a lecture hall.
And again, I get it. It's a horror movie. You have to have some of that stuff, but like, I don't know. We're in the midst of this now. Typically in horror movies, you have you're going to have fucking going on. You have that at the beginning, and then once the killing starts,
right,
people stop, I don't know, wanting to have sex.
The naive teens are the ones that are like, it's no big deal. Let's go fuck in the haystacks.
Yeah, not the two
not
adults.
The two people embroiled in the murder mystery.
Which one of whom was a cop.
Yes.
He goes limping up on Ghostface and goes tumbling down the stairs like a goddamn buffoon. Gail is then chased into like the sound room. This was actually kind of cool, like the whole hide and seek, cat and mouse kind of thing. And then Dewey comes into the soundproof window and he's trying to bang on it. And she finally turns around and he's getting fucking the "how's your father" in the back. I actually, in this scene, when I first saw it, made me happy because I was like, good, Dewey's dead. As much as I like David Arquette, this character in this movie sucks. So I was kind of happy that I wasn't going to see him the rest of this movie.
Yes, trading him for Randy is fair.
Yes.
Like, that's an even trade.
The detectives protecting Sidney are attacked as they take Sidney out of Dodge. And they
decide about 12 hours too late that, maybe we should put her in protective custody.
Yes.
Did you just get your budget cleared for the year? Like, why was that not done at least a day earlier?
Yeah, I
totally out of your fucking minds.
And again, going back to the library scene and now this scene, the two most inept cops of all time. And it seems like every movie we do, it's like, no, we're going to top it. No, we're going to top it. It's like everybody's got to measure how big their dick is by how inept the cop is in their goddamn movie.
Yep.
These two cops, they get attacked by Ghostface. Ghostface steals the car, crashes the car. I did like this scene because the tube or the steel pole goes through the cop's head and like sticks him to the windshield, which is great. But now Sidney and Haley, or whatever her name is, are trapped in the vehicle, and they have to pull down that's not how those little grates in the back. I haven't been in the back of many police cruisers, but I do know that that's not how those work.
Let me tell you, judging by how much the type of officer they can afford as a detective, no shit, they just fucking stapled like some chainmail to a fucking backseat.
It was
like, I don't know, that'll work.
They duct taped chain link fence like between the front and back seats. So Sidney and her roommate crawl out across the passed out Ghostface, get out of the car.
Well, first off, Sidney doesn't. Sidney wants to look at his fucking face. Again, more white people shit. If you are ever, God forbid, in a situation where you have to crawl over the unconscious body of the person, of the masked killer trying to kill you specifically, and your only point of egress is over his body, fucking crawl over the body.
Crawl over the body and run.
I gotta see who it is. And by
no,
the way,
you don't.
If I'm your best friend in the back seat, fuck all of you. Let me the fuck out.
Thank you. I agree with you.
They get out of the car.
Yep.
And she's like now up the road a little. You know, they're having the little discussion. I want to see who he is. And she's like, bitch, are you fucking kidding me? No, we got to get the hell out of here. Sidney goes back. Oh, he's mysteriously gone. Oh, whoop-de-doo. Turns around and her roommate fucking eats it here. If I'm her roommate, I haunt her for the rest of her life. And I just follow her wherever she goes. Because you got me murked. Because you're a dumb white broad trying to find out who the killer is. What are you, Scooby-Doo?
If I'm her roommate, I'm taking the script going, really? Are you only allowed to have one black fucking person left alive at the end of this?
That too. That too.
There's four fucking black people in this movie. You've killed 3 of them.
Yeah.
The other one ran the fuck away.
You're right again.
Sidney runs to the school theater and is confronted by the killer. And bum-ba-da, it's Mickey!
This was also a great time for Jerry O'Connell's frat to beat the shit out of him for giving his letters away. Once again, there's a murderer on the loose.
Yes.
I know you kids are callous and you like were taking selfies with fucking Cece's body or whatever the fuck you were doing. But holy shit. Duck face. Hashtag in mourning. It's so fucking stupid that they would choose to do this.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and Prayers app. When you want people to know that you care.
Not only is there a killer on the loose, there's a killer who wears a mask and a long robe. So you're going to dress up in masks and long robes to go beat the shit out of Jerry O'Connell and pour beer down his pants and whatever the hell, and then crucify him? And then you just leave him there? Like, listen, back in the day, I was never in a frat, but I knew people in frats, and say what you will about them. And yes, they did a lot of dumb shit. The one thing they wouldn't do, I don't think, is not only leave him there, they might leave him there and come back for him the next morning, but they pulled him so he was up in the rafters? What the fuck?
This guy's gonna shit on the morning cleanup crew.
So then you have, oh my God, it's Mickey, and he goes into which, and honestly, his whole like, oh, I want to go to trial. I want this to go to trial. I want his whole motive behind this thing.
The effects of cinema violence on society. I'll get Dershowitz or Cochran to represent me.
Like, that's great. Leave it there.
Yes.
But then you bring in Mrs. Loomis into the whole scenario, and she was Debbie Salt, the reporter.
Which, by the way, if you ever come up to me and introduce yourself as Debbie Salt, I'm going to be like, no, it's not. The fuck out of here. You're not Debbie Salt. Nope. Are you a rock star? Get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, so Debbie Salt, the reporter.
Do you write young adult books? Like,
who Sidney recognizes off the rip. Takes her 3 seconds.
Yeah, but hasn't seen her the rest of the time.
This bitch been trolling all over campus like, whoa, what do you think? Is this a serial killer? Is this a copycat? Sidney hasn't seen her the entire time. Cool. I'll buy it.
This is 60 pounds and a lot of work later.
Yeah, so this bitch had a facelift and dropped 60 pounds, and you're like, oh, Mrs. Loomis, what's up? She left Billy before your mom was murdered.
Yes.
And you still remember what she looks like?
Yeah. So Mrs. Loomis shoots Mickey. He shoots Gail as he's going down, and she falls into the orchestra pit. And now it's just Mrs. Loomis and Sidney. And they go through this whole rigmarole, chase them around the thing, and exposition. Just shoot the bitch. You want to kill her. She killed your son. Like, you give all the reasons as to why you want to kill her. Just do it. What's the holdup, lady? Just pull the trigger. But Sidney, gets away, whatever the hell. She goes through the cardboard door to the back and starts pulling levers and, thunder and lightning.
You're running away from a murderer with a gun. You have an axe. You stop in your escape to shake the thunder panel. Does she have an abnormal fear of thunder and lightning? Like, is she not cool with thunderstorms?
Well,
you're inside. That's not real.
So they go through this whole rigmarole. They start wrestling around, the knifey, stabby. Cotton picks up Mickey's gun. And why Cotton's there at night for no fucking strange goddamn reason? He's just been hanging around the college trolling for freshmen. And he's just like, hey, what's up? I heard some ladies screaming. I thought it was a good time, but apparently to you guys, I have a gun. Mrs. Loomis tries to explain, well, you'll be famous. Just let me shoot her. And then, I don't even get what she's talking about. And he's like, yeah, maybe. And Sidney says, yeah, Diane Sawyer. And he's like, yeah, fuck you, Mrs. Loomis. And shoots Mrs. Loomis.
That's not even how it works, dude. He threatens Sidney. He's like, I bet that Diane Sawyer interview's looking a lot better now. And when she goes, consider it done, he shoots. Are you fucking Kevin McAllister? Like, your mother had to apologize before you did the right thing?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
That's insane. How's that look? This is a tense situation here. I'm going to blackmail you for what I want. And maybe I'll let you live.
Apparently Gail's fine. She gets out of the orchestra pit. She shoots Mrs. Loomis one more time. Mickey comes up for one last scare. And they shoot him 400 times.
Yeah, that was a great scene. I like them just the overkill and killing him, and then her just walking up, Neve Campbell just walking up to the dead Mrs. Loomis, and just, why not?
Just one more, just in case.
Let me tell you something. That's the smartest fucking thing that girl has done in 2 movies.
Yes, absolutely. So they go outside, and there's immediately reporters there. They're all crowding around Sidney. Hey, what's going on? What happened? And she's like, yeah, Cotton's the real hero. Like, you should go talk to him. And now they're cool? Like, everything's straight?
He gives her the knock. Thanks for making me famous. That's the moral of the story. If you have wronged somebody,
yes,
do whatever you can to make them famous, and they'll forgive you, no matter what it is.
And then the helicopter shot of her walking across campus, and what would you say, or whatever song they end the fucking movie with.
What would you say?
As we do. Does this movie stand the test of time?
No. Flat out, no. I did not like it.
I tend to disagree.
To go back to Randy and Timothy Oliphant's discussion, this was not a sequel that was better than the original. This was not a sequel that was better than the third one, which is usually traditionally the shitty one of the group. The third movie in this Quattro, the fuck, whatever it's on now. This Quatrain. The third movie is one of the better ones. The first movie, the third movie are fantastic.
The third movie's pretty good. I really like the third movie.
It's a little weird with like Marine's backstory, but at least it goes somewhere fresh, and it's not some fucking Mrs. Loomis is back with fake stew, and we're just redoing shot for shot what happened last time with more cameos and twice the Dave Matthews.
What would you say?
I still think it holds up because of the entertainment value, but there are a lot of things I really don't like about it. The dialogue, for one, I'm even cool with the Jamie Kennedy doing him dirty. Somebody's got to get done dirty who escaped the first one. I would have rather had it been Dewey. What my biggest thing and what I didn't like about this was that at the end, Dewey's coming out on like the stretcher with the ambulance, and he's like, yeah, no, I'm totally cool. The scar tissue blocked the... Go get the fuck out of here.
I can feel my right testicle again. I think they worked it out.
Hell yes.
If it's on, I'll watch it. And that's kind of how I gauge whether I think it stands the test of time. If I'll watch it again, which eventually I will watch this one again.
Thank you. Right.
The dialogue, the just complete rehashing of the plot, which maybe, I don't know, maybe they just went super meta and it went over my head. And that's what they were doing, was mocking the sequels that just rehashed the old plot. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe I'm that fucking dumb. It's possible. But what I do know is when it's sandwiched in between the other two, it does not stand.
No, when it's sandwiched in between the other two, this is like The Godfather 3.
Hoo-ah!
It's still, maybe as a standalone movie is good, but as a part of this franchise is the worst one.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I look at it. But do you have anything else on this?
No. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. I mean, you guys have been. Actually, I do have something.
Go
Thank
ahead.
you guys. You guys have been commenting. Our views are skyrocketing. Subs are going way up. You guys have been awesome. I know you're spreading the word because we don't market for shit. So it's all you guys. So thank you very much. Please keep it up. You guys have been great. And for, I think, the next month and a half, we're doing all of your requests. Everything that you guys have sent us over the past month or so, we're finally going to get to them and knock them out for you. So
absolutely,
hang on to your butts. We're not going to like any of them. They weren't our idea.
So for Corey, on that note, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1997's Scream 2.
Twat us on Twitter.